Hey, I'm Eric Haugen. Check the description box below for tabs and backing tracks on my website, information about exactly what sound tools I'm using today, and all the other links. Now let's talk about what the heck is going on here. So here we are talking about jazz for rockers. We're into the part now where it's like if you know about seventh chords and enough about, I hate this word, diatonic harmony, you can start to learn songs, learn the chords, learn the melody, and then see if you could play over them. So let's take the case of, I picked a really, Mahavishnu Orchestra. This is not a simple one, but man, this song is so cool. It's so cool. But all right, first things first, always step one, you got to play the changes. That's the first thing. And I'll chart this out. Well, I'll scan this stuff up and put it on Patreon. The tabs are on my website. The charts are on Patreon for free. Man, what a weird chord progression this is. Okay, first let's just play it. And then I'll talk about it a little bit. So the first chord is it's an A chord. Okay, that makes sense. Over a B flat. So it's like you take this part of the A. I've seen him play it. There's some clips on YouTube. I think he's just grabbing this and then doing that. I leave that note out if I'm going to do the rhythm part, and so I grab it thusly. And by the way, to me, because this is jazz for rockers, that's the Neil Young halftime shuffle. That's a boom, boom, chuck, boom, boom, chuck, a boom, boom, chuck. Chord number 2. You could have called it, here, let's pull it up. You can see that? Yeah. Chord number 2, the B major 7 over its A sharp, or you could have called that a B over B flat, but it's easier for our brains and later on to call it this. So again with here's a B chord. There's that part of it, but still with the B flat in the bottom. Now if you can stretch it, you could do that, I guess. Coming from A to B. That's so weird. If I was going to play the rhythm part, which I did, I would do that. We'll talk about what's going on there in a second, but let's get the chords. The next 3 chords all make sense, though. Then it's just a lovely, where am I? B flat minor, no problem. E flat over B flat, no problem. B flat minor 7. Hell yeah, no problem. That all makes sense. That's like regular. I can breathe a sigh of relief. Let's check out that section. And this is just a 12-bar loop of these chords is the whole song. So there's our B flat minor. Here's E flat, put it over the B flat. So yeah, I have him out on whatever those are. 8s. No, I actually don't play on the A string for this. I want to keep it clean. And when you come back, so that part actually is like the part that I'm like, it's Dorian. Okay, I can hang with that. And then to pivot the progression back around, he hits that same second chord again, the B major 7 over A sharp, that really dissonant chord. And so what I see is going on here, so that was step 1, right? All right, play the changes of the song. That's the first thing you want to do with any jazz standard or song you want to work on. Next is you you do a guesstimation of the key and try and be like, what's normal? And what is freaking me out, man? It's always like this. But anyway, if I was going to do like a quick, Hogan's guesstimation of things, it would be, mostly the meat of this is in B flat minor, really B flat Dorian because of this chord right here, that tone right there makes it Dorian. And then what these weirdo chords are, here's my theory. Could be right, could be wrong. Let's argue about it. It's the internet. That's what we do. It's a double approach. Double approach is a concept where, say I wanted this F. You see this throughout classical. You see this in Django Reinhardt also. I will go one note higher, one note lower, and then get to that note. You kind of hear that. Wow, don't remember minor swing now. That kind of thing. So this is a chordal double approach to that B flat minor. He's like, well, I'll go one chord lower to A. I'll go one chord higher to B. That is my argument of what he was thinking there. See that? One lower, one higher, land it. And then he's just being really weird by being like, you know what? I have an idea. Let's just leave it all, though, against the B flat. That's my argument of how he thought of that. Now, you know, that like you have some sense of that. Obviously, I talked about this in last week's video. It's, you know, the next step is playing the melody. And like, I don't feel like teaching the melody right now. All I'll say is it's all tabbed out. And it's ultimately, you know, like, let me just walk you through what happens here. You know, I tabbed it all out. You know, I looked up the sheet music, I'm not going to lie, and then I transferred it over. I tabbed it out, and then to really, you know, go through the next thing, I actually had to sit around, and yeah, this is what it's like, man, and like, be like, all right, but what notes are those actually? And I'll tell you right now, what's going on is it's a lot of whole tone scale. That's as far as I'll go with that. And it is, you know, a whole tone scale, if you don't know about it. It is a cool scale. Don't use it very often at all. But the idea is, what if, Danny Elfman uses this scale. What if you just made a scale that was all whole steps? Very cartoony. It's a lot like a diminished scale also because it's symmetrical. And that's why that melody has that. But watch out, when he does switch it to Dorian, when it gets to that B flat. And then the only other thing that really boggles my mind about this is on that pivot chord, you know, when he gets to that, where is it? Here, let's look at this. Each time, you know, it's like whole tone, Dorian. This little bit right here, this little, that's a different whole tone scale now, because it doesn't line up. It's a shift. He shifted to a different whole tone scale for those two bars. That I don't know why. That I don't have an explanation for. But what comes next? All right, once you're like, okay, well, he used a whole tone scale, and then he switched to Dorian. Okay, I can, you know, you can play the chords, you can play the melody. Yeah, then the process is with jazz, is you then are like, what would I do? How can I possibly deal with this? And so what I'm going to do here is we'll just cut to what I did with it, and I'm just going to put the text on screen of what my brain was thinking. have it. There's my take on what I would do with this one if I had to play over it. You know, always trying to keep things as simple as possible. But like, you know, that's the thing with jazz. There, you know, when you're dealing with playing to changes, there are times when that's not an option. You're just there, and you have to deal with the weirdness that is in front of you. Kind of like life, man. Thanks so much to everybody who supports me in all the ways that you do, be it like, subscribe, or share. All those things help with algorithm relevancy, which generates website traffic on my website. You can book one-on-one lessons with me to talk more deeply about these things if you're like, I have so many questions, Eric. Or a lot of times I do a lot of stuff where I just help people out with their musical life goals and be like, how about, you know, I like to gently push people along. Help people out, get stuff done, make that record, record that demo, start that band, do the thing, man, do it. What else we got to do, man? It's like, that's the most enriching thing a creative person can do. Anyway, also, I have Patreon, where I will go further into subjects like this, and there's live streams that are only for patrons, as well as discount codes to my website. And the third way that I make my living is I make courses in partnership with the folks at Truefire.com. That's all on my website. As Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other. That includes yourself. Happy Friday. Eat pizza.